Here we are on Oscar night, 1 year later.
1 year later.
Andrew's not here this time, so we
Yeah.
actually have a kind of an even playing field.
I feel lost without him, honestly.
Although he said he's doing an absentee ballot, so he can still technically win.
Yeah, and why doesn't he at the airport while he's waiting for his damn flight just record himself like giving like a little bit of like his own insight before he realizes who won?
Well,
Text him.
it'll be interesting to. This might be the only year that he doesn't get the trophy, so let's let somebody else have a chance.
Okay.
Why wasn't Won't You Be My Neighbor part of the doc category?
That is a good question.
Because one of the critics I read today said, since Won't You Be My Neighbor is not one of the nominees, I'm going to go with this, but that was my favorite of the year.
Yeah.
That was maybe regardless of category, my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
That was a very good
for
one.
a lot of people, and yeah, I mean, it had every right to be in there. It was a Sundance film from last year, which it all fits into the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a huge snub. Because I haven't seen any. Have you seen any of the other documentaries on this list?
No.
What else is listed?
Free Solo, Hale County this evening, Minding the Gap, Of Fathers and Sons, RBG. They showed RBG at Art House, but I didn't go see it.
They did?
I think they did.
Okay. They had a sketch about her in SNL, which I heard was much the same. Oh, I'm kidding. It was like a gangster rap thing, like "Don't die, RBG." Don't.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was good. As always, I say that I'm going to try and do better each year, but I've only seen one of the Best Picture nominees, and I've had opportunities to see some of the other ones.
Well, what are the Best Picture nominees?
All right, well, so go down the list. Black Panther is the only one that I've seen. Black Klansman. They showed it at Art House. I didn't go see it. Bohemian Rhapsody, which that surprised me that was on the Best Picture list.
That's really odd, but I think it's just because of the subject matter that it would be on there.
The Favorite, which I really want to see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
That's what I was most excited about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Green Book, which again, I get it, but it still kind of surprised me that a Peter Farrelly movie would be the Best Picture nominee.
I'm curious to see what it's about because I haven't even seen.
It's
I
about
know nothing.
It's about a white bouncer, Viggo Mortensen's character, turned like driver for this black jazz musician through the Deep South in
during Jim Crow.
During Jim Crow, the Green Book was supposedly a guide to places in the South that were African American friendly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I'm told,
I
I haven't seen it, that for having that title, they really don't get in depth about what that meant, and
yeah, well,
that's too bad.
Kind of an inside baseball title. Then it's like if you know what that means, you know what that's about, but they're not going to spell it out for you in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a thing.
And that's not such a bad thing either. I don't think so.
Yeah. And then we have Roma, which another one I want to see. I have not gotten around to it. And it surprises me that one's on there because I guess it's happened before, but it's weird when a Best Picture and Best Foreign Language film have the same nominee.
And I read today, and I might be tipping my hand a little bit, that some Academy voters didn't quite know what to do with that because that was their pick for Best Foreign. Do we also vote for it for Best Picture?
Then we have A Star Is Born, which I've heard pretty much nothing but good things
about it, but
for being
honestly,
the third or fourth remake of the story.
Right. I honestly have no desire to watch it though.
Yeah.
I could care less. Even though I like Lady Gaga, I still don't care.
Honestly, the first time I even heard the song from it was when Melissa Villaseñor did it on
yeah,
Weekend
that's
Update.
Right.
She committed.
Yeah,
She
oh,
did
yeah.
a great job. She did.
She had the shoulders and everything. That was great. And then Vice, which another one that kind of surprised me that it was there. Like I could see it I could see Christian Bale getting the nomination for actor, but I really did not see that one getting a Best Picture nod. Best, like screenplay, maybe,
Well, it was the way it looked. Makeup. It was also very kind of artsy. It was stylized in the way that you would normally expect for an Oscar-nominated Best Picture to look. It almost fit each one of those check marks for...
I suppose so. It's also just kind of weird for me that Adam McKay is nominated for Best Director, because... he did The Big Short, which was also really good, but he's also done like all of Will Ferrell's movies.
Step Brothers is damn good.
And he just got Worst Picture for Holmes and Watson in the same year that he's nominated for Best Picture and Best Director.
He had a great year.
A group of us got together to watch Step Brothers again to go see Holmes and Watson. Like, the dynamic between Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly is so good. And then it was 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it got up to 8%. And it's like, I bet the only good jokes are in the trailer. I bet it's trying to do something that doesn't let them improvise as much.
Yeah. Which, all right, can we just talk about the Razzies for just a second here?
Yeah, why not?
Because I looked this
They'll
up.
segue into your next segment.
Yeah, well, and I'm still working on that, and I will... I am definitely going to do this. I'm going to do a series in which I review every Razzie Worst Picture winner.
Commit to it.
I'm committing. I've already bought 10 movies.
I know
I've got to.
When did the Razzies start?
1980 was the first year, and that was Can't Stop the Music, the Village People movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the first one I'm gonna do.
Don't you feel like now it's also sometimes a jab at someone trying really hard, not just the worst?
They've addressed that too.
The way that because anybody can vote for Razzies. You have to pay for membership, but there's no requirements to get in to the thing, and so literally anybody can vote. And generally, they vote more politically anymore rather than on the merits of the movie actually being bad.
Like
they're all bad.
It might be a middling actor who had a blockbuster and now is trying to do a prestige piece, and they just want to like.
Yeah, well, one year, an Andrew Dice Clay.
That's it.
Just not even a movie, just a stand-up act, a stand-up special was nominated for Worst Picture. Just because the people at the Razzies hated Dice.
Okay.
No other reason, because you would not put that in the same category as the other movies. Mm-hmm. It was put there strictly for personal political reasons. So the Razzies,
Not to mention they targeted for people like Madonna. Madonna was targeted several times throughout the Razzies. And she's not that great anyway, but.
And this year, they gave Worst Actor to Donald Trump for his stock footage in the
Trump's America.
What's the Trump? No, it's not the Trump.
The Trump Prophecy.
No, that's the Christian movie. The Dinesh D'Souza one, Death of a Nation.
That was the thing, huh?
That was Dinesh D'Souza's follow up to Hillary's America, which also won Worst Picture a few years ago, and I'm gonna have to watch that one. Not for a long time, because I don't know how long this is going to take me to get through these, but I will one day have to watch Hillary and own a DVD copy of Hillary's America.
To best of my ability. We'll all try to help you.
So, yeah, Donald Trump won the Worst Actor bid for that one, and that was, of course, strictly for political reasons, because it's not like he was actually acting. It was just newsreel footage. He wasn't actually in the movie, so... I would have rather seen John Travolta get it for Gotti, honestly. Okay. That kind of thing. Give it to somebody who was actually trying, and the picture was just terrible.
Well, see, I try not to play favorites. Like, right now, I could be touching... Well, Braxton just moved his leg. I was going to say, I could be touching either Braxton or Dorinda's legs, and I decided to touch both of them.
You did? I didn't feel it.
Oh, maybe it's just your chair. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I didn't want anyone to be offended. Okay.
Oh. That's too bad. I would have.
So you were going into a Razzies, this year's Razzies.
Yeah, that was just what I wanted to kind of touch on was just that and show who won those. Melissa McCarthy also won Worst Actress.
Well, of course she did.
for Happy Time Murders and Life of the Party. She had 2.
And she's also nominated.
And she's also nominated for Best Actress here for Can You Ever Forgive Me, which I've heard is really good.
Because
or at least
that looks decent. Like, one that she actually did a good job in.
Yeah. It's interesting how that happens. And yeah, and honestly, I was kind of hoping, for the sake of my new series, that Happy Time Murders would get the Worst Picture, because I kind of just want to watch that one, because I like...
Not to mention to use your own puppets.
Because I could totally done the whole review with a puppet. I have puppets, I do puppets, I love Brian Henson, and he's usually really funny, so to hear that his movie was terrible is kind of sad, but
it is.
At the same time, like, I think it might just be terrible to people who don't appreciate puppets.
I think that's probably it. Because even when Dinosaurs came out, people, this is a kid's show. They'd wave it off as that, and it was just like...
But forgetting Sarah Marshall did okay.
What?
What was...
He writes a puppet musical. Jason
Really?
Segel's character. It's vampires at the end.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's Dracula and Van Helsing. There's a big part that's puppets in that movie.
Yeah.
Really?
But it wasn't like the puppets were main characters.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I still have to see it to actually know for certain what the issue was, but yeah. Maybe it was all Melissa McCarthy. I don't know.
It could have been all Melissa McCarthy.
She'll be
probably.
brilliant in something and then get with her husband and do Tammy, which without even seeing it, I knew I would be angry watching that.
Oh, those trailers pissed me off.
Like, let's have someone her size be terrible at a ski-doo. Like, okay. Yeah. How much for your ballots do you let your sentiment take over what you would want to win, and how much are you...
I really try to get to think about it in terms of what an Academy member is looking for in a movie. And keep in mind, Michael Bay is a member of the Academy, so he voted on this.
But also, I've heard that this has far more actors as voting members than, say, the Screen Actors Guild or the Golden Globes. Like, they might look at performances differently than the Hollywood Foreign Press.
That makes sense.
This is true. Yeah, no, I honestly, especially if I haven't seen the movie, I tend to just go with, if there's a director that I particularly like over another, I'll vote them up. And I mean, I did pretty well doing that with last year with Del Toro.
You did. I did slightly, not as good.
I went with my heart last year on one category, and it won. It was the Best Original Song, the one from Coco.
Oh yeah.
I think everyone else had something different, and that's like, I kind of started to be competitive. I think I got second last year.
Yeah, you did.
But I had seen, because Andrew had most of them. I think I had seen all but one last year.
Yeah,
and now I've seen.
You were far more prepared last year.
Yeah, this year I've seen Black Panther.
Yeah, yeah.
Haven't we all?
Then there are categories that I've read that are really hard to predict, because historically, costume, makeup, the Academy has favored period pieces.
Yeah.
But some of the most impressive this year were like Black Panther, action piece.
Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one to call.
Then again, was it last year or was it the year before that where they made a very stupid decision and they thought that was it Suicide Squad won over Star Trek, which clearly Star Trek had the better makeup effects compared to...
Honestly, they were fairly even. I don't know. It was... I don't know. I guess they just liked Croc.
Yeah.
I know. I definitely wanted Star Trek.
I think some of the hardest are going to be score and sound design. Yeah, because you have multiples that really incorporated music, and then you have some that had great effects.
And there's no war movies this year to sweep it.
Like, what was the one?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, that's it.
Mm-hmm. And then you have a movie that's notable for its lack of sound.
A Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could win the sound categories.
That is a there's probably plenty of Academy members who would vote that to think, oh yeah, it was a great subversion of the idea,
Kind of like The Artist. You remember
Yeah,
that?
I remember The Artist, but that one, yeah.
They did the relatively same thing with that one because it swept the board that year, if I remember correctly.
It did do really well. The shorts.
Yes, the ones that you actually got to see.
Of everything on this list, I've seen the most
And
of the
animated.
very last year. I've seen the animated and the live action narrative shorts. I did not see the documentary ones. So you didn't get a chance to see those when they were playing?
I was doing basketball bull crap.
Yeah, that's right. And you watched the animated ones with me.
Yes, because I love
Brax, did you go to the art house when they were playing?
Yeah, I saw the short ones.
Live action
just
or
the
animated?
live action?
The really
Yeah,
sad ones.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
all super downers.
Yeah, just a bunch of kids dying or
Yeah. Okay.
else.
So just
Go
I'll
into
just
them.
do
Yeah.
I'll just do a quick recap here. Okay. So the first one here, Detainment, was an Irish film based on a true story. It was the dialogue was all taken from police recordings of interviews with these two 10-year-olds who were accused of kidnapping and murdering a 2-year-old. That was intense.
I bet it was.
Fauve was a French-Canadian movie about these two kind of lower-class children just kind of one-upping each other, being rambunctious boys, playing out in this abandoned field. They sneak into a construction site and wander into a clay pit where one of them sinks. It basically acts like quicksand, and he drowns in the clay. And the other kid who's left alive just kind of wanders about catatonically for 5 minutes. That was the whole movie.
Okay.
Marguerite was the only thing with any semblance of a happy ending. This was another French-Canadian one about an old woman on hospice care. She's got failing kidneys. She's basically dying. And her caretaker, she finds out that her caretaker's a lesbian. And at first, like, her eyes widen when she realizes this, and you think, oh, is she going to be some, like, old bigot lady? And no. Okay. Turns out, when she was a young woman, she was in love with a woman but couldn't admit it, and lived her entire life never telling that to anybody. And so she was able to finally tell this woman about it. So that was, and as she basically on her deathbed, that was the happiest ending of all of these.
Yeah, but tell the happy ending, because I like the happy ending. That's
Okay.
really cute.
Yeah, she's lying in bed, and she tells the caretaker, admits everything that she felt. And so the caretaker then gives her a kiss and then cuddles up next to her so she can have that feeling as she goes to sleep.
To me, because I work in the field of death, I think that's the sweetest thing I could ever think of.
Then Mother was a Spanish film. The entire thing takes place in a woman's apartment when she gets a phone call from her 6-year-old son, who is on vacation with his father in France. He's on a beach, and the dad has disappeared. So he's scared, he's freaking out. The entire thing is you just hear his voice through the phone. You only see the mother's apartment. She's on the phone with them trying to figure out where he is, what they can do, how they can help. It's like 15 minutes long. It's super intense, and it's all done in a single take. There are no cuts.
Okay.
And that was really impressive. I liked that. But it's just like it ends with no conclusion, no happy ending. All you can think is, okay, yeah, that kid's getting raped and killed.
That's really fun.
That's pretty much just where it ends. But you don't know for certain. You don't know what happened, because just as a strange man's voice appears on the other end of the phone, his battery dies. And that's where the call ends. And the mother just screams and bolts out the door. And she's going to drive to France and search the beaches and find him.
My lord.
Yeah. And then the last one, Skin. This was an American one about a super racist skinhead kind of guy and his son. And, he's got just kind of a fairly decent family life for the situation that he's in. But one day they're out shopping, he sees a black guy and just has to antagonize him. And then, just for no reason at all other than skin color, he gets his buddies to, beat the shit out of him. Just, brutally beat him down in front of his wife and son in their car. Then later...
Was it a car or truck?
It was a car.
Oh, okay.
The black family was in a car.
Oh, I thought.
Oh no! They were in like a SUV or something.
Oh, okay.
There was
I'm surprised it wasn't a truck
because
whenever I think of skinhead, I automatically think like a Ford fucking truck.
No, there was like 7 of them, and they were all like fat guys with beards. So
people who own Chevys are racist too.
I'm sorry.
But here's the interesting part about this one. So after the beating, the father and son, the white guys are driving home, and then there's like a van blocking the road, so he gets out to check it out, and then these black guys pull him in and kidnap him. And what they do is, rather than just retributionally, beat him or kill him, they knock him out, they keep him drugged, and then methodically tattoo every inch of his skin black, and then release him in the middle of the road to stagger home.
I'm sorry, that's terrible, but it's so funny.
Yeah. So those were the short films.
You didn't finish it.
I was watching.
I don't need to.
I was watching.
But it's a great part.
I was watching the NBA. I mean, may I ask one question?
Sure.
Do you think? Can you conceive of any makeup Oscars this year? Like Spike Lee or Viggo Mortensen, who have been nominated a lot, and maybe not won, and maybe this isn't their best.
Like they're just, the Academy's just going to throw them a bone for years of...
Like when Denzel won for Training Day, even though he had done so many better roles.
Yeah. Well, that is a possibility. That there has been a lot of buzz around Spike Lee, but I don't know.
What was that Spike Lee did? He did
Black Klansman, yeah.
Didn't he? Mm-hmm.
And
which apparently David Duke from the KKK actually called him.
That's right.
To say, I don't really think you portrayed me quite right. I remember this differently.
Didn't Topher Grace play him in that movie? I haven't seen it yet, but cool. It was quite a challenge to tell people the next role he was playing.
Yeah, I bet.
Out of context of it.
No kidding. Yeah. So animated feature, obviously Isle of Dogs, right?
Well, what else is on the list?
It's going to be Into the Spider-Verse.
I hope it's Into the Spider-Verse.
I heard... Okay, I'm not going to tell you how I'm voting, but Isle of Dogs, I heard, has a better chance of winning Best Original Score, not because it's sensational, but because the Academy has a love affair with Alexandra Desplat.
Oh, yeah.
Of course they do.
Isle of Dogs was
mediocre.
So busy to me. And then the conflict is so easily resolved at the end.
It really was. I did get a chance to see it this week, actually.
Okay.
My sister and I, we borrowed it from the library, and I decided, because I love Anderson, I wanted to see it so bad. And I liked Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I love Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That's my favorite. Oh, yeah. So, for sure. And we watched it, and it was just so mediocre. It wasn't...
It's telling that my favorite scene in that movie was how accurately they portrayed making sushi in an animated way.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with the plot or the voice choices.
So true.
All right, well, we're getting really close to Oscar time, so we should probably wrap this up and fill out our ballots.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll reconvene after the show.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like the least emotional Best Picture
sentence
I've ever seen.
Oh. I've seen a lot, so I don't know what to compare.
Okay.
Bradley Cooper's mother and my children, and thank you for watching.
Inside joke.
All right. How about that? Green Book. Anybody else have Green Book? I did.
Nope.
All right. I'm going to finish tabulating the votes. I should discuss about what just transpired here.
For only having seen one nominee in the Best Picture category in most of the categories, I had seen Black Panther and Isle of Dogs. I did surprisingly well. Like, I did really, really poorly at the Golden Globes one that I went to. So, does it make you more or less excited for this format, hostless, if they would do this again? Your thoughts, Brax?
Oh, I don't care about any of this.
Alright. I have the votes. And you'll find out in just a bit after I go get the trophy.
Okay.
Oh, well, shit. I call Ben gets it.
No.
Yeah, stop being humble. He'll get it this
Get the guy who ate the most of those cheesy crackers.
year.
Those are addictive.
Aren't they? There he is.
There it
Golden
is.
Naked Man.
Yes. Alright. In a tie for last place is myself and Dorinda with 7 out of 24 correct.
How about that?
Second place goes to Braxton with 12 out of 24. You were
Wow,
50%.
Braxton. Get it.
Which means Ben won with 16
Not
out of
bad.
24.
That's more. And I, having seen 2 movies, out of all of
Right.
these,
Good job, Ben.
So,
do you want me to take this and display it in my apartment, or is it more convenient?
well, I mean, you can
Do
if
you
you
want to get home for a little bit?
if you would like to hang on to it for a bit, you may.
Yeah, maybe until the next time we're
Please
over.
do.
Let me just get a picture of
Sorry,
you here.
Andrew. he probably still won.
We'll find out, but it doesn't count because he wasn't here.